But there is also another element, which is I think this is also it's like times that to the nth factor, because of politics and because of this outside influence that's trying to cause division, as you said, and they're trying to monopolize on this. There is this phenomenon which already exists gets times by the nth factor, and people that look like me, for example, will have a extra tendency to try to look for people that look like them, because they feel the sense of, which we all have felt, this sense of closeness when you feel when you're talking with, when you see the only other black guy in the class, and you go to that black person because you feel like this sense of closeness. I think that feeling of closeness is created, one, because it is a natural thing. Two, there is the outside
feeling
influence.
rejected.
Yeah, and the reaction to feeling rejected. So I think it's a complicated
I agree with
issue.
you. Like, that's where it came from me specifically. I can give you a personal experience, which when I came to Sweden, I genuinely did. Like, the thing is, I grew amongst, you know, people who looked one way, and then I moved from that place to people who look like me, Somalia, and then from there to, like, you know, I was back and forth in different groups, you know. So I never really felt that closeness just because a person is black or a person is Somali, for example, or closeness because, you know, they come from the same culture as me and they have that Arabic kind of way of thinking and, like, you know, a culture. Or that they are different from me because they're white. I never felt none of this. But as this you know, the right wave, what do you call it? This right wing wave kind of got bigger and bigger. I saw that, you know, through my feed for the most part, but, you know,
so you felt
this
that
cultural reaction,
exactly,
that there was a cultural shift where I was the enemy out of nowhere. You know, I look around and I feel like, oh damn, everybody here sees me as the enemy.
Yeah.
And that will definitely, as you said, like, you know, radicalize you, kind of push you to the other end. But what's the important is seeing through all of this, seeing through it, and knowing that there's really no difference between you and any other person. The problem is that I genuinely believe that people who are on the far left and people who are on the far right have more in common than they have in differences. But we have a system that incentivizes arguing over what you are, what you disagree on, rather than trying to find what you agree on. Because that would be, I feel like, a solution to most of our problems. Sit down with whoever they are, there is, wherever they are in the political spectrum, and try to find where you agree.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of, like, because when you actually make it so that you have a democratic system, which is the best way that you can actually, you know, live as humans, but make it so that the discourse is all about disagreement, and then you have paid actors who can actually infiltrate and be a part of that conversation of disagreement. What are you going to expect? Like, obviously it's going to be division and more, what do you call it, less done and more arguing is going to be in the center,
100%. And this is like a common theme. I talked about the same phenomenon with another guest I had on. There is this tendency for people to feel that to tie themselves to ideas so much to the point where they cannot see things differently, whatever you tell them, because they've tied their identity to these ideas, and you cannot have an open conversation with them. It's like impossible. This
It's
reminds
also
me of
them type mentality. So
Yeah,
how
exactly.
can you talk it at that point if you feel like this other person from the different tribe came here to kill you and your tribe?
Yeah, and
Then
as you
of course,
said, people
like,
are monopolizing on this. As you said,
that's what I'm
people
saying.
are the
Discourse in the
politicians.
US is impossible now. It's literally
Yeah,
impossible.
it's
You
impossible.
cannot talk. And I feel like it's systematic as well. Having so many headlines that each and every headline, people have opposite, like, you know, views on it. And there's 15 headlines. So imagine you meet you're a left winger, for example, and you have a right winger friend. You see him today and you leave, you come back. Between this time that you haven't seen each other, there is 30 things that happened. And each one of you guys have an opinion on those 30 things. And, like, when are you going to be able to talk about anything if you are focusing on what you disagree on, obviously?